Good morning, everybody. It's Melanie coming to you from the farm. And there's Lucky. And easy breathing today. Had some coughs while he was eating because I wonder if he just choked. He hasn't coughed since. But other than that, he's doing great. He trotted up to the fence, came over for scratches. That's like been something he hasn't been doing. Because he just was so desperate to get more medicine. And I did a short video and then never posted it about fun facts about horses that you probably didn't know. And one of those facts was that and there he's coughing again, but he's not retracting and he's not like breathing really fast like he was, so that's good. But fun facts you didn't know about horses: when I put his medicine in his bowl, he would look for his pills and eat them first. Every time. And I was like, that's mind-blowing that he knows that those are what helps him. The second fun fact that you probably didn't know about horses is that if they have a horsefly on them and they trust you and they know you, they will come seek you out to get said horsefly off of them because they know that you will take care of that. And this vegan here, if you fuck with my family, you're gonna find out. And them horseflies are big, mother trucking horseflies, this big, easy. And they bitey and they're mean, and I'm gonna take care of my boy. I'm gonna take care of my boy. You're my boy, Lucky. So try to get him in the shot here. I'm filling waters too, so I can't walk away or I'll forget. Anywho, why I wanted to get on here today is that I'm noticing a trend. I'm noticing some things going on energetically in the collective. And I'm really grateful to see these things, and also kind of, I don't know, gives you a little bit of an uneasy feeling, I guess. So Chris and I went out to dinner the other night, finally by ourselves for the first time in a long time, over a month. And we went out to dinner and we sat at the bar, even though we're both sober, enjoying sober living. I'm gonna shut the water off. Oh, hear the running water. Helps settle anxiety and all those things. That's why the beach is so healing. Woo! It's because of the water charged frequency of the air and surrounding environment. So, something that I'm noticing in the collective is that people are looking for help. They are looking for spiritual help. I was looking for spiritual help a week ago. But it was more of a like, Mel, you got this, you can do this, it's going to be okay kind of help. But these people that are coming to me now, out of nowhere, in the most random of places, are really in dire need of spiritual help and healing, and they're there to hear something. They're there to like receive some kind of message. At the bar with Christopher, we go to the same restaurant and see the same bartender, and her name's Hannah. She's got a little boy at home, and we get to talk to her and hear all about her life and her journey, and she gets to hear all about ours, and it's just this fun mutual. I'm gonna pull up a chair here next to a shit pile. I'm gonna move it a little bit. That's a big block for getting on horses because they're too tall to do it. People too big and lazy to try anymore. Hello, you guys say hi to the camera? Yeah. Where's a good boy? Oh, so happy he's feeling better. Anywho, there's people coming to me for healing. At the bar, at our favorite restaurant, with our favorite bartender, we order waters. Sometimes Chris gets a club soda. And this guy is sitting there and he starts talking and he's like, I'm a musician, I'm a songwriter, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it all comes out and he's like, I got a DUI last year, I was addicted to heroin, I have been sober a year, blah, blah, blah. And he is bawling like, Wah, at the bar and talking to me about the song that he wrote while he was in jail last year. He doesn't know me at all. And I know that like alcoholic bar people talk all the time to anybody because they're lonely. I get it. And come to find out, after they left, the bartender was like, something weird happened with that guy. I was like, well, what do you mean? And she goes, I gave him one drink, and he became a whole different person, like instantly, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I said, he probably just had his first drink after being sober for a year, because he just sat and cried to me for the last like 35 minutes. It was a long time about his journey, and he couldn't finish his sentences. He was so upset. She was like, wow, I think you're right. Like, he was just a different color, all of the things. Who knows if that's the truth? Who knows if that's the story? But I brushed it off, and I went on about my life, and I talked to him, and I was like, you're doing okay. Like, everything's going to be okay. People make mistakes. Like, I'm saying all of these really positive, powerful things that I would want someone to say to me if I was feeling that bad. And just showing him love and kindness. And he gives me a big hug. He hears me turn this camera on. He's just like Chris. He gives me this big hug. I go on about my day. I am a little bit like overwhelmed with the amount of energy that I am able to gift to other people, but I feel very like, what's the word? In need of alone time. Desperate need of alone time. I've got lucky. He and I get our alone time, but I'm always doing something out here, and I'm always worried that I'm doing something wrong, and I'm always plugging shit in or unplugging shit or filling water containers and washing. I'm not like alone. And so I was a little bit perplexed by the situation, and then I heard the voice say, you know, you're doing the service of God. And I said, okay, I'm doing the service of God. I can do this. And it made it better, and it made it easier. And I went on about my life. This was Friday, and so today is Tuesday morning. And go to the beach because the sunrise is perfection. I'm getting ready to do a video for here. I'm super stoked that like the sunrise is perfect, and there's so many like clouds and birds and all the things. And I was going to talk about like, are we really free? Which will be a later video because it's Independence Day, right? And start recording, and I'm 2 minutes into the video, and this weird kid comes walking up, like weird, and you can tell by his eyes, and by weird I mean he's on something. Asking me for weed, asking me for drugs, like, and this is me, right here. This is me in all my glory this morning, and I'm getting asked for reefer. Oh gosh. And so he starts talking to me, and he starts telling me all about his life and the stuff going on in his life. And I hear about his parents and how his dad hit his mom a couple of years ago and he had to defend her. And then I hear about how he's doing all these drugs, how his mom's trying to get him off of Abilify, all of these things. It's like talking about, he's like, were you on antipsychotics? Because I bring up my story. When people come to me with this kind of stuff, I bring up my story because there's testimony. Like, I'm supposed to tell it. He's supposed to hear it. He wouldn't like stumble upon me on the beach if he wasn't and tell me all this stuff. And so we had this long conversation about, which wolf do you feed? Are you going to feed energy into God things, or are you going to feed your energy into the darkness? Are you going to feed your energy into the things that bring us life, or are you going to feed your energy into the things that are stealing from you? Your life, your happiness, all the things. I mean, there's nothing that drugs don't affect. And he's like, wow, I never looked at it that way. My mom always says it's okay to be neutral. And I said, God doesn't say that anywhere. Like, the Bible doesn't say that. And I'm not like the biggest 1000% believer in the Bible, but he was wearing a cross around his neck. I know that he at one point knew the things that are talked about within the Christian faith. And so I said, the Bible never says to stay neutral. The Bible is like a whole journey about people standing up for what was right, to make changes in a time of difficulty, and to not be silent. And if you were going to be silent, you were going to die on a cross, and you were going to do it with dignity. And hello, look at that. That's what they're talking about. Oh, shush. Mares sometimes get all grouchy and stuff. That's Dandelion and Coppertone. And then she's gonna go reaching over and mess with him, and then he's gonna sniff her again, and she's gonna go, "Eeh!" That's what, see, they're doing that. That's exactly what they're doing. He's like, leave me alone, lady. And his mind was blown for a minute where he was like, you're right. And I said, I know, and it's not me. It's like the voice of God telling you this. And so we kept going back and forth, and I made a video on leaving the parking lot, but I feel like this one, I had time to think about it. And as I was driving here, I kept thinking to myself, like, all I wanted to do was go take a picture of a sunrise, and I got to hear about a little boy being sexually assaulted by another little boy. Graphic detail of those encounters from the age of 6 to 12, how he told his grandmother she didn't believe him. And I then had those images in my head. And I just kept saying, like, all I wanted to do was see the sunrise. And the voice I'm getting now and that I got in the car was, I'm here for a bigger purpose than just seeing the sunrise. And that God's going to find me to do his work when he can find me to do his work. And it just feels so strange to give myself so much to others after a lifetime of being very selfish. But as hard as I think it is, it's way harder not to do the work of God. And it's way harder to live in the darkness. And it's way harder to feel sick and tired all the time because of my choices that I'm making. And so I'm going to keep doing this. And I'm going to keep telling people the truth. And, like, at this point, I'm not holding back. Like, somebody was talking to me yesterday holding a sugary power energy monster drink. My nails are so dirty. I just saw that. I'm sorry. I am on a farm. I wash them when I get home. Actually, I wash them before I leave here. But he's drinking one of those energy drinks, and he said something about, like, not feeling great, and I said, well, maybe because that's the shit you're drinking. It just came out, and he was like, you know, you're right. I was like, I don't seem to be able to hold back anymore. And he goes, that's okay, it needs to be heard. I said, thank you. I don't want to hold back anymore, and I don't want to stay silent anymore, and I've held my tongue for a really long time, and I can tell you for a fucking fact it's not working. Me holding my tongue isn't working, and people continuing to live this lie that everything's going to be okay and they can keep doing what they've been doing and everything's going to be just fine. No, you've got to change. You've got to show that you want to be here. You've got to show and dedicate yourself to this change and to living from a place of light and good and godliness and divinity and kindness and compassion. You got to choose it. Otherwise, it's going to keep not working and it's going to keep feeling miserable. And I guess people could turn that around and say, well, you just went through all of this stuff with your horse, but you know what? Like, I don't see these difficult things that I've gone through as difficult things. I see them as challenges. I guess they are difficult, but I don't see them as like a drain on my life once I'm out of them. I see them as lessons. I see them as the powerful lessons that they were put there to teach me. I learned so much in this situation with my horse. I learned how to heal him. I learned how to heal him with medicinal, like plant medicine. I learned how to heal him with pharmaceutical medicine. I learned how to heal his feet. I learned how to stand up for myself. I learned how to stand up for him. I learned how to be a hard worker and figure out a way to do something, even though it was hard, and even though I didn't think I had time for it, and even though it was probably one of the most challenging things I've gone through today. To date, I learned all of those things because of the struggle, because of the challenge, and I'm grateful for that opportunity to experience that challenge. Other people go through life in a completely different way and mentality, and if you're on this channel, I hope that you're shifting out of that, or you have already shifted. If you have not, and you go through your daily life of, oh, this happened to me and it really sucks, and blah, 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 and so did this to me and it really sucks, and all of these things happened to me, and all of this stuff is happening to me, and I don't know why. You're not going to move anywhere. And I have had my days. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had my days of that shitstorm. But I keep asking myself the question, what is this trying to teach me? And eventually, I hear it. I learn it. I figure it out. And you all have been a part of that. If you go back to like my Revelations video, I figured out some of the biggest lessons on this journey, and it was all so much better from there. Like I want to say uphill in abundance, like uphill in goodness, not uphill as a struggle. It just became easier once I learned those lessons, and it took a freaking YouTube video to learn it, but I learned it. So if you're sitting in that energy more often than not, you've got to ask yourself why, and you've got to ask yourself how to change it, and what it's trying to teach you, and how you can do better, and all of the things. Just keep asking, because it will change. It will shift for you. You just have to choose it. So with all that said, which wolf do you feed? Do you want to feed the goodness, the godliness, the light, the positive energy? Or do you want to feed the negativity, the anger, the frustration, the resentment, the pain, the suffering? What do you want to feed? What are you going to sit in? Because what you sit in is what you create. I wish I could make this brighter and keep it that way, but I guess it's not going to happen. No, it doesn't let you lock it. All right. So yeah, that's the question of the day. Lucky and I say goodbye. Lucky says I love you. I dream of a day where we get to have our farm together, and he gets to be on the live video with you guys and me, and we're painting out in the pasture and living our best life, because that's going to be awesome. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it. So sending you all so much peace, so much love, so much namaste. Apparently she wants to say goodbye. Bye. Adios, my friends. Hasta luego. Adios.